So Vítor Pereira is currently emerging as the favourite to take over from Dyche, as Marinakis is now taking control of this situation. Welcome to your Forest News. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to your latest Forest News. Coming up, we'll talk you through the latest changes since we spoke in the middle of the night when Dyche got sacked. We'll tell you about who the managers are that are currently in the running for the job at Forest. We'll tell you how they look, how it could work, and the plans basically, because Marinakis is taking charge of this one. So make sure you've hit the like button, make sure you've hyped this video up, and make sure you're subscribed if you're new. There is also a new video out on Patreon with some interesting news on Murillo. So Patreonees, go check that out. If you want to help support us further, scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned. Okay, let's jump into the news. So obviously we all know Sean Dyche gone, thank God, good riddance. And we did the live stream for you guys in the middle of the night yesterday. So check that out if you want to see my instant reaction to Dyche going. I can't stop smiling, I really can't. But Forest are looking to move quickly and Marinakis is looking to take charge of this recruitment. And the belief is that his number one choice is Marco Silva. He wants Marco Silva come hell or high water. That's the guy he wants. But it is near impossible that he is going to get Marco Silva before the end of the season. Marco Silva will be potentially on a free come the summer. And I think, as I mentioned yesterday, what we're going to see is that Forest will look to put an interim in just to get us over the line and get everything sorted. Anyway, so what's going to happen now? He's gone to his black book of former clients, former managers, former everything. He is in charge of this one. And one of the names that he's worked with before is Vítor Pereira. Vítor Pereira, obviously, as we know, has left Wolves this season after winning no games in 10. However, he is the reason that Wolves were saved from relegation last season. He got them from 20th at one point, I think, when he joined around at the end of Christmas time, and then saved them quite comfortably in the end from relegation. They went on a 6-game winning streak, if I remember rightly, under him. But obviously things turned sour this season. He wasn't able, as I mentioned, to win a single game, but he lost some huge key players. He lost Ait Nouri, he lost Cunha. They sold most of his best players and didn't recruit well for him. And Marinakis has worked with him before at Olympiacos back in 2015, where he won them the Greek title and the Greeks Cup, if I remember rightly. Now, if this is going to happen, what can we expect? He plays currently a 3-4-3 formation or a 3-4-2-1 formation. He reverted to that at Wolves, and he is very, very stringent when it comes to defensive tightness. He's a bit like Nuno in philosophy, where he likes to counter-attack quickly. He doesn't play low block. He prefers a mid-block with quick transitions into counter-attacks. However, he is quite adaptable when it comes to tactics. He's happy to change those. He's not rigid like that idiot Dyche, who only plays one formation. He's able to adapt based on the opposition. And while he was at Porto, he was playing a 4-3-3, which was his initial bread and butter. And even at Porto there, he ended up, if I remember rightly, winning the league there too. So there is good things and there is bad things about him. The best thing, of course, being that he's not Sean Dyche. And as I mentioned, he's picked up silverware 2 times at Porto, once at Olympiacos, and once as well in the Chinese league. The other thing about him is he is a bit of a journeyman. He doesn't seem to stay in one club for a long period of time. Just looking back, like from 2010, when he was at Porto as an assistant, then upgraded to their manager. He then went to Olympiacos in 2015. Then he went to Fenerbahçe in 2016. Then 1860 Munich, Shanghai, Fenerbahçe again, Corinthians, Flamengo, El Shabab, and then Wolves. All of these spanned pretty much a year. So this is why Marinakis is probably looking at him as a potential option, because he's still got his eyes set on Marco Silva come the end of the season. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you guys, don't worry, we're definitely getting Marco Silva in the summer. There is a lot of things that would have to happen for that to be the case. Number one is that we are still in the Premier League. But it could happen. It could happen. Am I as confident? We'll have to wait and see. Now, other names that are being chucked around, and these are ones in the bookies, just to give you some insight, and I don't think half of these are true, but the second favourite for the job would be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The less said about that, the better. Thomas Frank's odds have shortened, and a couple of others as well. Roberto De Zerbi is is there as well, which I wouldn't be opposed to, but he's at 12-1. But Marinakis isn't just looking at him, he's looking at all his past managers and potentially looking to see who he can get. But Vítor Pereira will be the top dog. What won't be clear yet until we see what happens, and I expect this, by the way, to develop quite quickly, with Fenerbahçe in mind on Thursday. Marinakis wants to move this along, get the manager appointed as soon as possible so they can get at least a couple of training sessions in with the players before we head off to Fenerbahçe. Because this week could be, or this next kind of week and a bit, is basically make or break for our season. We could get relegated. Or I think we could win the Europa League and be comfortable in the league. I don't think there's anything in the middle of that can actually happen with Forest, because this is Forest. It's always one extreme or the other. And I think that's where we are. It's either binary, it's a 1 or it's a 0. Relegation or European Cup and Premier League. Or get relegated, win the Europa League, be in the Champions League next season. In the Championship, only Forest could do something as stupid and crazy as that. However, there is still some more fallout that's happening. There's a lot of heat coming on Edu right now as well. I don't think Edu survives past the end of this the end of this season. Edu, I think, will be kicked out in the summer. I don't think it's going to happen now. Right now, the focus is on getting a manager over the line, and then Marinakis will deal with the cards after that in terms of Edu, the backroom staff, and everything else like that. But as things stand, Pereira, from his point of view, would be happy to join Forest. Apparently, there were rumours and reports that Marinakis had started conversations with him last week just to get a feeler out if he was to get rid of the idiot Dyche. Would he be interested? So this may not be as knee-jerk as it's coming across, because it sounds like there was some pre-planning going on. However, what I would say is that, why did he get the Wolves game? The Wolves game was so important to us. I look at our fixtures and I see 3 games that Forest could win. One was Wolves, one was Burnley, and one was Spurs. Those are the 9 points that would have got us to about 35 with a couple of draws and safe. Now that we messed up yesterday against Wolves, where do the wins come from? And it may be on Pereira's shoulders to get us over the line. So, would you take Pereira or not? Let me know in the comments down below. A lot of good in him for what he did at Wolves last season. And then obviously what happened at the start of the season that led to his dismissal is in the negatives for him. But it sounds like this one's getting close. So get your thoughts in. We'll be live tonight for Grumpy Old Reds around 6:30 or 7. I'll figure it out with the boys. And have your notifications on, because if anything further breaks, we will of course be back here to tell you all about it. Check out Patreon for some interesting stories about what happened behind the scenes with Dyche. And we'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Reds.